So today I'm going to be doing a couple things to the 240. I got these Fender braces from Ultra Racing. So I know everyone's seen them on eBay and online, and it just always looked so tempting to me. So, and I know that this chassis has maybe 400,000 miles on it. So it's a lot of miles. I know there's a lot of flex in the front end, and I drive it pretty hard. It's at full droop right now, but my car's not slammed. It's a driver. It's meant to go, hit bumps in the road. So I don't keep it super low, and I drive it pretty hard. I don't limit myself from going to places because the road is rough. So I know some people do that, but anyways, so today onto this Fender brace install, and I'm gonna do some Fender. I'm gonna modify the Fenders actually, because I have a V3 Aero kit that I'm kind of working on here. So first thing I got to do is actually pull my Aero off of it, because I got to get the Fenders off. So first things first, let's get to that. Back to that stock body goodness on the S13. Got most of the front Aero off. What I noticed on my new Fenders that I have, someone just filled these up. They welded a piece of metal in there, and there's no side markers, which sucks, because I love my JDM side markers. Anyways, I'll have to figure that out, but for now, getting somewhere. And I'm taking off the rear splitter now. It's getting crazy. We got residue, we got worms in here, we got everything till the last bolt, right? Well, this bolt right here, I spun it out and it just keeps on spinning, but nothing keeps coming out. So what I'm having to do is drill the head off. So just going in here, holding it with that wrench, and just spin that boy till it pops. Oh yeah, baby. Damn thing. Okay, so here we are. We got Fender off. Cleaned it up a bit because, maybe a year and a half of Pacific Northwest all buried under there. This was pretty full. It was caked up all along here. So anyways, so now we're down to, this is what I did to relocate my harness. I just notched this, bent it up, and bent this part down to give it a nice smooth area to sit and not chafe. And I zip tied up here and ran the Fender along the upper part of the Fender here. Never had any problems, but unfortunately with this bar now, it's basically right, has to be done like this. It's gonna probably have to go on the other side of the Fender, or that little tiny area in there has to somehow snake through there, which I don't know about that, but let's see what happens. Mocking these things up. Took a bolt out in the top and the bottom, put longer bolts in because obviously it doesn't sit flush with the other bolts in there. And I marked the holes where I'm going to drill, and it should be pretty good, so let's drill those out. Sorry about the compressor. So the other side is, as I'm lining it up here, so you can see the second bolt, that moves around, right? Well, there's quite a bit of misalignment on this particular one, so I have to move this up pretty far. And that lines up pretty good, but then I got this protrusion at the fender, which don't believe it has to be flat because the fender comes off there very close to this edge. So I have to move this down like this, but that puts me a little weird on this bottom one down here. So if I move it forward, pull it all the way forward, you know, I guess I can get by close enough, I'm hoping. And then also, so here in here is the interference, a little bit that you got to get off there, or else, you know, I got to take up a 1/4 inch, and that's definitely going to interfere there. So I have to grind that off, or probably grind it off, make it easy. Already threw some self-etching primer on the holes. So there's interference on both sides here, but this little tab, you can see where I worked with the black Sharpie here, but I didn't have to actually trim that part. I just kind of hammered it down so it sits flatter, and I just had to trim out a little bit here, and that's enough. Basically got this side installed. It was pretty cool there. I mean, there's some, I don't know if it's seam sealer over here, I mean around it, or that the fact that these doors have never been off. The doors didn't move at all when I took all the bolts out. I mean, I kept it closed, and I put a rag under here, like I folded a terry cloth and put it under the front here between the gap to kind of keep it supported. But yeah, I didn't move at all. Everything lined up. Put a couple washers over here just to, I don't know, make it a little more beefy around there. So yeah, it fits under the fender really well. We'll see if it does anything. Yeah. Okay, both sides done. This side's harness is much thicker than the other side, so this one I actually had to go over. And the fender comes down like right here, and it actually slightly, and it wants to interfere, but as long as I go real high and try to tuck it down, maybe smash it down a little bit, that should work, and it'll go over my seam like I had before. And see, this you could tell how it was basically right against the fender. That's just rubbing. That's why I put this conduit on there. But it's kind of thickened it up to a point where it actually rubs. Other than that, it all turned out pretty awesome. Yeah, the doors don't move if they haven't been off the car in a long time, I guess. Yeah, got some fender braces, baby. Fender braces are on. Can't really tell. Boom. I mean, it's a nice, tight fitment. Very tight. But, you know, stock Fender fits good. Decided to start pulling my livery. But yeah, it fits well. It's pretty rad. Yeah, so I was gonna go full stock body. I got a pretty, well, a mint hood here. That's actually the body color. It's the full body color, so I could just go rain mode, full rain mode, but fortunately I can't do that because I forgot about a little detail, and that's hood pins. I removed all the factory hood latch mechanisms, so I would have to convert these to arrow catches, or convert this hood to arrow catch as well, which, yeah, I haven't done yet, so. Foiled. little more real quick before I let it all the way down. This is just the way I do it. Alright, so this is initial first impression. Of course it's dark, so I don't know how good this is going to be, but so yeah, no difference. It's exactly the same. No, just kidding, but I haven't felt it yet. Let's see this corner up here. Let's see what we get. Uneven pavement or a gap, those kind of abrupt shock loads to the chassis, you can actually feel that translate to kind of the floorboards, to where I feel it through my heels. That shock gets translated to, you know, into the chassis, kind of by the door hinges, which then is very close to the floorboards, and I actually feel it in my heels that I have there's a little more, like the shock is translated to the chassis a little more. So I guess that's really the only major difference that I can feel. Now I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that the rest of my front end is pretty well braced up. I got a strut tower brace, I have the Nismo power brace, I have pretty much spherical bearings everywhere. So I think that just kind of, upgraded sway bar. That's a big one. A lot of people don't have that. I think all that just gives the whole front end a lot of rigidity. So this is not like a huge difference. I mean, really barely detectable. I kind of wanted to do it more as like a peace of mind type thing. Like, I mean, this chassis probably has 400,000 miles on it, so you know, all the chassis flex, bam, is just something that I wanted to kind of see if I can not, I don't know, make worse, I guess. I don't even know how to describe it, but basically try and, if there is chassis flex at the firewall and the shock towers, try to minimize it. So anyways, okay, maybe this helps some people, maybe it doesn't, but yeah, I mean, you know, honestly, I think it's a worthwhile upgrade for a couple $100. Probably not as good as the cage, but really it does feel pretty solid, so I'm pretty happy with it.